Hey yo, what's up? I don't know about y'all, but if somebody compare our conversation to a motherfucking Sims, I am out the door. Not a Sims, really? Check this out. Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Mizzle. That's my channel, Mizzle 14, and I'm back doing a review of MTV Catfish, Season 8, Episode 64, Keontae and Tyler. MTV, y'all did a good episode this week. It did redeem itself from the last two, like that. It's still not outrageous crazy like we used to, but it was a nice little twist, a little bit. But it was better than the last two episodes. So I said, okay, I give y'all that. Y'all had to redeem yourself. Because the last two was a snooze fest. Completely snooze fest, and I was not here for those two. But Keontae and Tyler, let's get into it. All right. So Keontae is a full-time student in Ohio. So he was talking to a guy named Tyler, who originally from Ohio, but lives in New York City. And he's a model, typical profession. Like that's a typical profession of catfish, a model. In New York City, a model, he's 24. And they've been talking for like a year and some change. And Tyler hit him up on a DM. I think it was Instagram. They had a little conversation, everything back and forth. And to the point that they switched to Snapchat because at the time when they was talking, Tyler had a girlfriend. And since he had a girlfriend, he was trying not to get his Metro 6 seen and exposed, so he decided to snap on Snapchat. And as it's on that Snapchat, I haven't been on Snapchat, but I guess you could do audio chat now because before you couldn't. But now they do audio chat. But because of that, they really never have video time and met up. And mind you, at the time when they was talking, he was in Ohio, Tyler. So I was like, if y'all were both in the same state, it kind of like not too far from each other. Why come y'all couldn't meet up? I was like, y'all need to stop putting your eggs in one basket with somebody who's not gonna try to meet with you. If they give you one of them out and then try not to meet you, to find someone else. It's like you have other people you could talk to. I don't understand, especially when you say you had options and you ignore all the options because you want to focus on it. Stop that. Leave your options open. And that's the problem y'all do. Y'all cut everyone off just for like one person, and then it doesn't work out. I mean, granted, yes, I know some people can't talk to multiple people at one time, but if you had other people's options, it was not exclusive yet, keep it open. Don't let that go because you wouldn't be not going through this. Because now you know one falls and another one's behind. But that's there. That's then there. That's what I want. So yes, they started on Snapchat, and he wasn't really never sending a live chat because he wasn't really with video chatting, but he was sending audio chat, and they've been talking for like hours and hours on the phone, and that's it. So they've been talking, and they was like, listen, Keontae said he gonna be walking in Fashion Week in New York City, and you know New York City Fashion Week is a big event. Every year is a big event in Fashion Week, and he's walking. So I said, okay, if you're a model in New York City, he's going to be walking. Y'all can meet up. So they was all cool and everything going dandy. And then when they get close to the time, Tyler's kept making excuses and they kept reneging on the freaking meetup. So it was excuses. So it was no meetup, none of that. I was like, chill. So when they was talking, I guess because they were talking on Snapchat, he wasn't out as bisexual yet. So he's like in the closet in the DL a little bit, and you know how that goes because sometimes that's like a little layer of secrecy and also a layer of care you have to take when you're dealing with a DL. Sometimes it could be really extraneous and it could be really emotional. It could be really much if you not dealt with that type of lifestyle. Because being with a DL, and I think I explained this before, I had a relationship with a DL person before, and even though we had a good time and everything, it just never came to fruition, especially because that person say no. But that's then and there. But other than that, when I finally asked, we've been knowing each other for like 5 something years. But when I finally asked to be exclusive, it's basically just really saying no. So it is what it is. Move on. But you got to hide. You can't. They're not open to the families yet. They're not open to their friends yet. People think he probably still straight and all that stuff, because they don't move like to get the radar that he might be into the DL and stuff like that. So it's stuff go on, and then they mainly only hit you at certain times, the sex and all that stuff. It's a lot going on, and some of them could be really cool and really good gentlemen or good friends, but it's just the emotional turmoil they're going through with a lot of strange circumstances that can't make them come out and be comfortable. So you really have to deal with that. And the worst thing I would tell people is that don't mess with the DM people. So if you go out them because you in your feelings. If you can't handle that emotionally, then don't deal with that. But according to Keonta, when he was speaking, it seemed like he was really in that space that he could be there for him, and he was not trying to force him to come out. He was not trying to make him uncomfortable. He wanted to be there to be there for every step of the way until he get comfortable to do what he wanted to do. But he was not forcing him to do that, make that decision. It was on him because Keonta said he going to foster care, and he was on his own since 14 years old and everything. So he know how the struggle is being on to be out there and fend for yourself. So they had to really bond together about the similar backgrounds and struggles and connect in that kind of way. And the fact that Keonta went with a guy who's not out yet as bisexual is actually another layer of concern and seriousness about wanting to pursue someone like this. And you got to be ready. You can't. It's not for the weak of heart. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not dealing with this type of relationship because it's emotional baggage. Because you might end up doing some fights with each other because it just can't. You want something that they can't give, and so the plan was if they was gonna be together, he was gonna come, and when they finally meet, be ready to tell his family and his friends as he being out, and it was as the boyfriends. I said that's a big step. Now, when I was watching this episode, I was like, that's kind of like unfair to make that plan and say, okay, once we meet, then I'll be out and be ready to tell my family and friends, which is like, if that's the case, he could have been did that. So you feel like because you were talking to this person and y'all were meeting up together, that was able to, he comfortable enough just to tell them that he's out and this is your boyfriend and you got boyfriend and everything. I said, that would take more time. I don't think that was that quickly. That's why I understand why he probably was never meeting up with you, because that was never that quickly. If that was the case, if he is DL. But that's besides the point, because we didn't get to later on what happened. So they said originally when he responded to his messages, Tyler hit him up and he said some weird thing. He said, I don't know if I'm going to tell you. I said, tell us. Come on, we're grown people. He said, listen, I want to eat your booty like groceries. That's basically what he said. He said he want to eat, sniff, and smell his booty. And I was saying, oh, so he want to eat it like he want to eat the booty like groceries. Okay, eat the booty like groceries. So he wanted to do that. And he said, okay, let me just respond back. Because sometimes it's like, you know what, let's see what the person say. Even though you might not even want to continue on. Some people hit you up with some random messages. And he said, okay, what's up? What's going on? And then after a while, you just see what's going on from there. But he feel like he has a connection. They have a deep connection. They're really cool. They understand each other, even though they never met. And I would say, y'all going through all this for someone you never met. And I said, I don't want to go through all that for someone I never met. And then be okay to be comfortable of being together and he could be ready to be out. Like, come on now. You got to have way more time than a year. There's some change to even go down routes. But that's that. But it also came up that his name on Snapchat was Wade Wilson. So he really don't give him his real name because I guess the name that Keonta know from Tyler is Tyler Brown. But on Snapchat, he goes Wade Wilson. So he's very secretive. So he to really hide his identity, he gives a different name. And I know usually DLs do go by different names or say like a nickname or something like that instead of their own thing. And then there are levels to some of them are cool or comfortable with you and out in the open. They would say hi to you in the open. Some of them will never want to say hi to you. They will D you down or get D down, whatever the way they float their boat, and then they see you in person, and they will act like you're not existent, like you don't exist. Like, hold up, you were just in my bed like 4 hours ago. Now you act like you don't know what the hell I look like. But that's how some of them are. That's all they are. That's what I'm saying. Different levels. You gotta be able to handle this. You can't be weak. You gotta be hard. You gotta be hard in this kind of lifestyle. But so that's that. So they'll say it's different. It's things going on with him. So we need to find out. And he thinks. No, he said. He thinks the guy like him. He's like, he thinks they had a good connection. He thinks they're good enough for each other. And he just want to know, because he said, listen, I'm in LA. He asked me, Kamie, can y'all come? I'm in LA and I need serious help before I go to New York City. I need help. Help me. So they went to help him. And they basically hit up quickly. And that's another thing I had about these people in the game, man. They move too fast. Can y'all slow down? It's like they go through a life cycle of relationships in freaking 2 months. They dating. They have sex. They in a relationship. They move in together. They arguing. They break up. They get back together. They get married. They get divorced. And then they move separate. And they find out. I was like, damn, yeah, we're all through the whole life cycle in freaking 2 months. And then some people take years to even finally get that point. Like, how? It's like, within a freaking 2 weeks or so, y'all really living together. I was like, I don't know. I can't tell you. So they start an investigation. And no, but Keonta said he has been searching his name and everything, and he wasn't finding anything. And he wasn't coming up with anything. I was like, okay, if this wasn't a model, you wouldn't think that he got to have something going on, like somewhere in the website, anything in a social media. He said he's searching, he get nothing. I said, okay. I don't know, maybe he wasn't searching hard enough. Because a model, you could find a model if he's a model, right? Because they open, they're not gonna have, they need to have a business. Then they need to get the people. They body, the fame of popularity is based on what they pull out. So they need the exposure. So it had to be out there, right? So they're investigating. And then the photo search. Now they were saying he was searching the name, but he was really even searching the photos. So he got the Snapchat photo, and it had an instant connection, instant match. I said, damn, that was so quick. So they got that, and it came up with a guy named King Clay. So this is the picture that Tyler was using to catfish Keontae. So obviously it's not the guy, right? So they messaged him. He never responded back. So then they searched for the name. I said, let's search for Wade Wilson, because that's the name he was using on Snapchat. So they searched for Wade Wilson, and they did find a more advanced search of that. Instead of just saying the name Wade Wilson, they said, let's look at Wade Wilson in Ohio, who's 24 years old in this certain little city in Ohio. And it came up with a match. And it came up a match. It said tie. Yeah, it was a match. And it said 24 in Ohio and everything. So they saw an email and it had TY, tie. I said, okay, that could be Tyler. Okay. So when they searched that, they looked at it was a connection to Venmo. And in Venmo, it was a Tyler Brown. So when they searched that up and looked at it, it was like, okay, it's Wade Wilson at Tyler Brown. So I said, okay, so it's coincidence that this Wade Wilson is connected to a Venmo account that's Tyler Brown, and then our Venmo account is connected to a Wade Wilson. Who is this person? I said, okay, so is this the person? Is this that? So they look at the transaction. They had like a repeated transaction for one person, but another person as well. And one person they know it was like Maya Houston. And Maya Houston was like a bestie, a friend. So they messaged her. She responded back, and she was saying, what's going on? What's up? And they told her, she said, oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's my friend Gio. My friend, okay, Gio. Yes, friend Gio. And he's a model. and everything. And I don't think I want to give you out his Instagram name because that's I don't think he want to give it to you. But they say if he's a model, can you search and everything? He said it's a private business model. He want nobody else to know. I would say, but a private business Instagram page. No, if it's a business, don't you think you want it out there? Not to keep it private. So they was like, something's wrong like that. But you can hear a fumble in the background. So I said, is she talking to the guy? And he was trying to feed her what to say. And she said, no. He said, this person is bisexual. This person is single. And this person is out. And he lives in New York. So I was like, okay. All right, so they said, can you let Gio know? They were looking for him. They said, okay, I'll let him know. So while I was driving, Gio called them. Now, before Maya called them, oh, no. Yeah, Gio called them. So when they were driving to Keontae, Gio called them, and he said, y'all heard y'all looking for me. Be here I go. And that's what it was. And he said, no, he haven't talked to nobody like Keontae. Yeah, he said he lived in New York City. He said he never really lived in Ohio, but he traveled there through there. And he a go-go dancer. And that's it. They were talking, and it seems crazy and weird, the conversation. I said, this sounds suspicious. Because there's too much similarities to the Tyler Brown that we don't know for you to be somebody different. And you never been on high, you never really talked to Keontae and everything. I said, they don't really believe that. So they hang up the phone. They said, nah, we can't believe that. Because it's like, yes, Keontae talked to someone in New York. He probably from Ohio. They wasn't high, living in New York. You're a model, you're a dancing entertainer. That's all the stuff that he was saying. They have a conversation. So it's kind of a coincidence. So then they went to Keontae's house. They sat down with Keontae, and basically they ran down everything to Keontae, and he was like, "Oh my gosh!" And then they said, "Let's hear the voice message of this recording," because Neve recorded the conversation while Kamie was talking to Gio. So he listened to the voice recording, and he was listening, and he said, "Oh." I said, what we doing that for? He said this, I know who that is. I said, oh, know who that is? So why are we here? And he said, that's my best friend. And that best friend is not no freaking Gio. His name is Golden. Gordon. His name is Gordon. I said, oh, I'm not Gordon. That's like my good friend. He was in my bed like 4 weeks ago, sleeping in my bed as my friend. And they said, what? They both even came and said, ooh, in your bed? I was at the same thing. I said, what we doing here? What kind of friend is this? But I know sometimes friends sleep in the bed, whatever it is. But and he said, no, we were sleeping in my bed as friends. And I know them, and I was like, no, Golden. But I was like, no, the conversation I had with him just don't even match him. So that don't even sound like Golden. So I was like, how would he would change his voice or use a freaking app recorder? Because they do have voice recorders out there to disguise the voice. And maybe he was using that because that doesn't sound like the one that was on the phone, the recording that Neve had. It definitely not the voice that we heard later on in the episode, the voice recording that Tyler messaged Keontae back, and the voices didn't match. So I was like, obviously, if you've been talking to this person all the time, you would probably know your friend's voice, right? And I said, I know my friend's voice. This is the friend's voice you had. The one that I've been talking to, that's not his voice. So I said, oh, child, he the ventriloquist over here. But he don't think that his friend Golden like him or into him like that. He said, no, we just friends. It's never that. And he was saying, no, he never expressed to me that he really likes me or love me or anything like that. That never really happened. So now he's trying to figure out what's going on. So they said, you know what? Let's just hit up Tyler and say, listen, the jig is up. I know you not the person, and I will see you. So he messages him. And then the person said a voice recorder back, and it was a different voice. So this is Golden. I said, he really wants me to change his voice to really sound different. So he did that. And he said, I really want to see you and come to LA tomorrow to see you. He said, okay, yeah, I want to come to LA. I came in to see you. I said, let's take all that. All this time, and then they come on here, and then you want to say, oh, you ready to meet him. I said, whatever. So they got to send him, he said, let's meet tomorrow. Meet tomorrow. I guess he flew to LA, and he was going to meet them the next day. So Neve told Keontae, listen, don't get your feelings. Do not retaliate. Do not pop off. Don't do none of that. Just don't say that to anyone. Just wait, and then we figure out what plan tomorrow. So the next day comes. They driving to Keontae, and Keontae said, yo, Kamie. She said, what? He said, yo, he had me up and he said, listen, he said he arrived that he on his way to my friend's house. He said, oh, you gave him the address? He said, yes. I said, we on the way. He said, y'all heavy up. Come up. I'm nervous. See on his way. Heavy up. So they said, speed up, Neve. Neve said, he got there. And he said, what's going on? And they were talking back and forth. And he said, no, he was trying to figure out ETA. I guess he asked them, but then I forgot that he asked them because when he looked at the phone, he realized the guy was almost there. And everything. So long story short, it came out. It was actually Golden. Golden. I keep saying his name. I keep trying to say called Golden, but it's Golden. So Golden came out, and that was his best friend or his friend named Golden. And Golden admitted that he was Tyler. And that conversation, Keontae was studying and said, okay. So he said he don't even know why he really did it at the first time. He said, I can't really give a reason why I catfish Keontae. I said, no, you can't come here to tell us that. You have to be something. But he said he had a fufu account. I don't know what the fufu account is. I don't know what that is. He had a fufu account, and he created a fufu account because he was snooping around for his ex and everything. Because I guess he was trying to snoop around his ex and see what his ex was doing. And he was doing that. And then, long story short, I guess he just meshes, I guess, Keontae, and they just been talking. And at first he said it was a joke. And then Keontae said, what? Why are we talking like it's not even a joke? He said, no, it's not really a joke. And then it was like, they had a conversation. He said, what's going on? He said, listen, it's kind of like we in The Sims. I said, Sims? That conversation would be ending right there. I know you did not compare our conversation to a Sims, a virtual reality. I said, if he said Sims, I would be like, church finger up. No, you can't do that to me. You can't say it's a Sims. And then he said, okay. So he's like, it's kind of like a virtual reality. I said, no, he's not. So we playing VR right now? Like, if somebody got a joystick and telling me what to say and stuff and do? Like, a virtual reality, a Sims? Like, I would have been so done with that conversation. I said, I know you did not display me like I'm going to pick a video game. Like, I'm a video game here. So Keontae was upset. He said, what's going on? He said, nah, it's not even like that. He said, do you really like me? He said, nah, I really like you. Like, no, it's not like that. I really love you. Like, it's nothing like that. And he just made it seem like it was no big deal. Like he just did it, and you just happened to message me, and just came one thing, another just came. But he said, no, you messaged me. So what's going on? And I'm telling you things, and you were telling me things, and we was over for each other, and you was all there for me sexually and emotionally. I said, I don't know how you was there for me sexually if you had never met up, but I guess it was the phone talk, the sex talk, and that's that. And you don't. And you say you don't love me, don't like me like that. So what's all this for? And he was trying to downplay it. So they was done over it. And he said, yo, bro, like, what's going on? So they getting back and forth. And they was reading each other. And Keontae was reading. And Golden said, talk about it. Yes, talk about it. Yes, talk about it. Yes, talk about it. Talk about it. Yes, talk about it. I think I might do that in my title. Keontae and talk about it, Tyler. Cause I was like, oh my gosh. So they took a break. And then Golden finally admitted that he did like Keontae. And he couldn't really express his feelings. Like he really did have feelings attracted to it. It just came. I was like, it's like you did all that and it finally revealed that you really did like this guy. No more than being friends. But he said he was cool to me. Yeah, we were good friends and everything. And so I love him. But when he explained it, I was saying, I don't think he's really in love with this boy. I think he just really loved him because he was there for him. But how much attraction love is. I don't know, maybe he could do a sexual love attraction with him, but not to the most deep. But they have been dancing together as friends. And he said yes, but he said he don't know how to express himself. That's why he took credit as Tyler. And I think he basically was trying to do like a cheat sheet of open like his diary to get his inner thoughts or whatever, and inadvertently trying to get to know Keontae, but not even knowing Keontae. And that's what it was. It's like open up his diary without him knowing to fill him out so I could gauge him and maybe I could be myself be open. So because the conversation I had with Keontae and that's Tyler and made me be open, I was ready to be open in real life. And that's what it is. But I guess they have settled to be friends because Keontae say, I love you and we cool and everything. Even though it's messed up that you did that, but we still was there for each other, whether it was a catfish, whatever. I said, okay. And we just gonna be friends. And I guess they agreed to just be friends because at the end of the day, they had a good friendship. But it was messy. But at the same time, I said, ain't no friends gonna tell me I'm a virtual reality bitch. Like, we not doing that. I don't know Sims up in here. But that said, 2 months later, Keonta say he's single. He not even about no man right now. He did his fashion show week, and Golden was trying to hit on him, but he did that, and that's it. They just friends and they cool. And Golden said he's good. He dating other people. He's open and he's done with that. But that's it, and he's free. I said, all right, y'all, you be free, but don't tell nobody else they are virtual reality. Because you're going to get weird down. But that was my catfish video review. Tell me how y'all feel. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Hope y'all enjoyed this. And I'll talk to y'all later.